Hello and welcome to the Astrology Studio from Capricorn. I'm Eric Francis Coppolino, your friendly neighborhood astrologer here, reporting in from the Astrology Studio in Kingston, New York, with the Eye of the Centaur. I spent a lot of time on that somewhere in between thing. Eye of the Centaur reading for the sign Capricorn. The sign Capricorn, which has survived 99.9% of Pluto in Capricorn. This is a special time in your life because it is a time of being released from that whole ordeal that goes back to about 2008, and to contemplate all that you have been through since 2008. I think I suggested in a couple of other Capricorn readings that you make a chronology of your life, starting with the big salient events, involving family, living places, employment, and things like that, and then start to fill it in to get a sense of what you have been through during all of this time. We're here today to talk about the genuinely extraordinary astrology of the spring of 2004. Sorry, 2024. Today's my first reading of a batch of three, working backwards through the zodiac. So please bear with me while I get warmed up a little bit. And the main event is this. It's not a stellium because it's got the moon and the sun in it, but it is this cluster that basically goes from Pisces clear through, well, actually Aquarius. You can see the lines pointing to it there. But this is the eclipse in Aries that takes place on the 8th of April, 2024, not 2004, 2024. And it is a very unusual pattern, and it is so unusual that I honestly say I've never seen anything like it, combined with the fact of Pluto in a new sign that would be covered by my hand, plus events in Pisces, plus all of these events in Aries, plus these events in Taurus, plus what's going on in Gemini. And this lands in a concentrated part of your chart. This thing here that I'm showing you here, this group mostly fits into this house. I'm going to draw this in blue pencil. So to give you a sense of proportion, you take a space this wide, and we put in most of this. So that's a lot of energy, a lot of energy, and it is happening in a zone in your chart, in a place, the fourth place, that is associated with security matters. How safe you feel on the planet, how safe you feel being who you are on the planet, your relationship to your self-actualization process, very important matter of Aries on the fourth house, particularly under the influence of a total eclipse and of Chiron. Now, the fourth house has a special meaning from ancient astrology. It is largely forgotten, though there are some kids running around who are kind of modern classicists, but I don't classical astrologers, classicists, not classists. We yuppies are better than the posh upper crust. Anyway, no, I don't mean classist. I mean people who are looking at the ancient astrology, but the fourth house is about the end of the matter. That's the thing. And usually this applies to horary astrology, the astrology of questions, and the astrology of major events. But the fact of the end of the matter is essential to you because you are experiencing this eclipse, which has very much a feeling of the end of the matter, and because you have been through so much with Pluto going through Capricorn. And the sum total of Pluto through Capricorn we could describe as a fundamental reconstruction of who you are. But that reconstruction has required a deconstruction of who you are. And so with genuine change, with genuine personality changes, and the molting of skins, and the process of becoming a different person, and or peeling back away the facets of yourself that you have realized were not true, there's a lot of taking apart you have to do, and a lot of sorting out what is true from what is not true. And we can track this through the experience of Pluto through your first house. This is true whether you're Cap rising, Cap sun, to some extent Cap moon is, that it'll be a more localized time frame. With sun and rising, the entire sign is sensitive to the transits that go through there. And so Pluto was here in around 2008. This is before the now forgotten Great Recession and the previous Great Reset. And then out to here, which is where we are right about now, Pluto's going to make one last dip back into Capricorn. We'll talk about that in a moment. And so Pluto has begun a journey across your second house. That's Aquarius. And this is a very interesting placement to have on the second, because the second is about your personal attitudes, values, principles, talents, movable possessions, everything from a car on up. And then further, the second is about your relationship to your principles and how you express them in life. So it's very personal. This house is very private and personal. And most people don't talk about the second house. They don't, well, I mean, the sex of the second house is masturbation. Who talks about that? And most people don't want to talk about how much money they have. They don't want to reveal too much about their talents and their talent assets, right? So the second is so private that it's rarely talked about. But you have Aquarius on the house on the second. So the themes of the second, personal possessions, talents, assets, values, principles, your relationship to your principles, all remain true, but now expressed in the style of Aquarius, which is a sign associated with groups. It's a sign associated with consensus. It's a sign associated with the relationship of the individual to the group. And so now that you're done with all of your deep reconstruction of self and deconstruction and finding out what you're made of and having put yourself back together a few times, the second now is a kind of a test of that, the results of what you've done and what you've gone through. And the question is, how boldly do you stand in your principles to the point where it's not really possible for other people to overpower you and tell you what you believe and what you feel and what you think and what you stand for and what is right for you. And Pluto is some pushback there. Now, there are some people who are going to experience Pluto as Aquarius pushing on their individuality. There are others who are going to experience Pluto as their individuality pushing back against the situation with any group or family or circle of friends or organization.